All right, welcome to the 10th episode of the
Let's Go podcast. So we are super excited to reach our 10 episode anniversary. Who would have thought a few months ago we'd be at 10 already? The popularity of the podcast has just been blown through the doors. Schwartz Brothers Media going on 800 views. Look at that. We
right.
some podcasts have been around for years, haven't hit a 800 view.
Jacob, can we get a let's go out of you?
Let's go! HSL, baby!
We have a good streak now. That's like our fourth let's go in a row, Avi. We're doing good now. The first bunch of guests weren't willing to do it.
Yeah, it started with the certain sensations. The certain sensations got the.
And of course, the podcast is and the whole league is brought to you by Evo Care Group, who, due to their generosity and sponsorship, give us the ability to put together so much great content. So let's dive right into it. Jacob Gelb, sometimes known as Yaakov, sometimes known as Jacob, but always known as an emerging pitching star in the HSL. The Crew, a brand new team to the league, I believe, finished the season 6-2, but very impressively gave up a total of 28 runs, was it?
31
runs. So an average of less than 4 runs a game, which is pretty remarkable in a Sunday morning softball league.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, like you had mentioned before we even started recording, that Avi is definitely a seasoned pitcher. You know, if we're quantifying that in terms of seasons played in various spring, summer, fall leagues, so he definitely is seasoned in that sense. I mean, I've pitched my whole life. So I never thought about it in terms of league or not league, you know, so the same way I pitched is how I pitch now. My first experience of pitching in a league was last year in the LBA I played, and I definitely had a good experience there, and I definitely had a better season here than I did there. I guess I was still, because there's like a certain league windup you have to do, right? When you're in a competitive league, you can't run up. There's certain parameters to your pitching. So I definitely was working out some kinks in the LBA, but that prepared me now for the HSL, so... Yeah,
Jacob, you played in LBA, which I guess now we're saying the name LBA.
Oh boy, is that
you
taboo?
played in we ran into some issues with Schwartz Brothers, who also played there last year. We ran into some issues with them, so we had to quiet them down a little bit. But you played in Tier 1 or Tier 2 for the LBA last year?
So I Dafka wanted to play in Tier 2 in the LBA last year, and now in the Legacy League and the HSL, because like I love playing softball as much as anybody, but like to me, like, before I know what a league is like going in, like, I'm always like, I want a league to be competitive, but also fun. And I found that, like, the guys who are the most competitive and, like, could sometimes, like, be too much arguing or potentially, like, or cussing or whatever, like, they'll graduate towards the highest tier. And, like, I'm not looking for that. So, like, I want to, that's why, like, last year.
You mentioned taking a step up to the mound, and Tier 2 in Lakewood, you're not allowed to take a step up. You have to start on the mound.
You have to start on the mound, right foot on the mound, go back, pitch. You know, keep your foot on the rubber the whole
Tier
time.
Tier 3 also, or just Tier 1?
Yeah, everyone has the same rules in the LBA, so that I had to get used to. But yeah, that's why I graduate towards that like middle or lower tier, because like there's enough guys who are Tier 1 caliber who play in the lower tier, so it keeps it competitive, but it also makes it not as like intense.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, it's interesting what you said about the better teams, the more intense teams, perhaps. There's some overlap between level of competition and level of intensity, which scares some people off. You mentioned cussing and other things like that. I think something as me and Avi look towards building great softball programming, developing A-League talent, something that's become very obvious to me. Developing A-League talent, it's about a lot more than just level of skill. It's about repetitions, about level of focus. And I actually think that from what I've seen, the Crew actually does have that level of focus and intensity to... Oh, we lost you, Jacob. Can you hear Jacob, Avi?
No, I think Jacob went mute, but if we go back, I think if people are be watching it back, they might actually be able to hear everything he's saying.
Okay.
Call some funny, some comedy. Jacob, we can't hear you. Got to connect to your Wi-Fi. Should I call back Donnie Shaman? I got a call from Donnie while we're running this podcast. He has some questions on some fundamentals. Should we do an impromptu call back in the meantime while Jacob's reconnecting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Think they'll be able to hear us?
What was Donnie? Yeah, I'm quite curious what Donnie was talking
something
about.
with
Oh, I don't
Discord.
know if Donnie. I don't know if we'll be able to hear Donnie.
Let's see. I'll give him
Do you know where the
there we
mic
go.
is? Do you know where the mic is on your computer?
Yeah, here. No, we don't hear Jacob. Tell Jacob we don't hear him.
Jake, we don't hear you.
And Donnie's not picking up. Jacob, talk again. Do you hear us?
Hi, it's Donnie. I'm sorry I can't get to the phone right now. Please leave it.
I actually could hear.
Yeah. Let's see if he calls back. All right. Well, what do you want to do, Dave? We had some free time in our hands.
Yeah. So, I could just run through. I could run through just what I was saying a minute ago. Something that's become clear to me is that the development of A-League talent is of an A-League team. There's kind of this. Oh, Jake, can we hear you?
Yeah, what just happened? I have no idea what just happened. I got a call. I had to. I pressed silent, and then I just couldn't hear you guys. It was very strange. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Oh, Mike Francesa. Mike Francesa.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah.
There's a good chance. Like I was telling David, Jacob, that we're a big believer in not editing at all. We like going straight. We like doing 100%. So there's a big chance that when we put this out on YouTube, they'll be able to hear you the whole time, which will be very funny because you'll be talking and we won't be hearing what you're saying, but everyone else will be hearing what you're saying. So it might lead for some good comedy. So let's wait and see on that afterwards.
That's great, but I'm very cognizant of the hot mic factor, so I wasn't really saying much. I was just like, you guys can hear me? I was making sure not to say anything.
That would be hilarious.
Okay.
Jacob's like,
So Jacob, yeah, go ahead, Abby.
No, I was gonna say it'd been funny if Jacob's like cursing in the background, like, why the Blake is this not working? That'd be hilarious. Then you see it back.
So Jacob, it looks like you have a pretty tight squad, a pretty intense and focused squad. You say that the A-level competition is maybe a little too intense for you, but it looks like you guys brought a great level of focus to the game, at least the game we played against you.
Yeah, I think we have a great team. It's funny, like I was telling my friend who I played in the LBA last year with, another LBA reference. I said I didn't even play with these guys yet, but for some reason I just know already we have a great defense. And that's actually what happened. Our defense is unbelievable. We made like barely any errors throughout the whole season, and I've been blessed to have a great pitching season. So combine those two factors, you look at our run differential, we only gave up 31 runs, a combination of, good pitching and great defense. And then we scored enough to somehow squeak by some wins. So, if we had scored more runs, it would have looked a lot more impressive.
So in terms of the construction of your team, I don't know so much about it. Obviously, you knew Nate Gelb before the season. And where did the rest of the guys come from?
Minsky, no? Isn't there a relationship there with the Minskys?
Yeah, so my brother, Naftali, who plays second base for us, his brother-in-law is Gershi. So Gershi and Naftali were the first ones to, start the process of getting the team together. And then my brother messaged me. He's like, you want to play? I'm like, of course. I want to play local. That's great. And then Shlomi ended up as a backup because this guy Ushi Avia got us. Couldn't play, so Shlomi joined the squad.
That's legendary, and we'll give him a shout out. He'll be all happy. I'll send it to him after. Ushi Berkowitz, one of the Steve Polland Day legends, along with your uncle Dave, who got hurt before he could even play a game. He was waiting for his big return after not playing for like 20 years. And then,
How old is he?
I don't know, maybe in his 40s, I think, low 40s, mid 40s. I don't want to give a wrong age and he'll get upset at me.
And what position was he supposed to play?
Third base.
Yeah. So who do you have at third?
He was like the biggest like legend star third baseman, like best glove in the world back in the day.
So who do you have at third base now?
So right now we have Eli Sabo. He actually started playing short for us, but we put Shua Danny there, who had started and left. We put Shua at short like after I think game 2. And then Ellie transferred to third, which was like the best, playing to everyone's strength. That was the best alignment defensively. So that's our current composition over there. But yeah, they're just stout, man. These guys, they barely make any errors. They just get it done. It's unbelievable to play with a defense like that behind you. That confidence gives you as a pitcher is just perfect.
Yeah, it's so true. So you guys, in LBA, how come you switched from LBA to HSL besides the obvious marketing and recruitment talent of Commissioner Edelman? Where do you live? All that stuff.
So since I started working 9 months ago, I knew that going into Lakewood once a week at night was just not going to be an option for me. So I was bummed out because we didn't have any local leagues, and I was like, okay, whatever. I won't be able to play in a league this year, which I wanted to. But then comes along the HSL, saves the day. Made a
Who
league for the
found
boys
you?
out here at Flatbush.
Who found you?
So I think Avi knows Gershi from, I'm not sure from where, and Gershi asked my brother asked me, and that's how the team started.
Yeah, I know a lot of people from a lot of random places. I think Garrett and I overlapped in Romu for a couple of summers. If I'm not mistaken.
That makes sense.
Great.
Everyone knows everyone from Romu.
Yeah, especially Avi Edelman, the Romu legend. So, so I think that's right. And then Garrett was a lot of times people are always like, "Oh, I want to join, but I don't want to get together a team." People overrate how hard it is to get together a team. It's really not so hard.
Agreed.
You know, 3 guys,
Agreed.
each one of those 3 guys know 1 guy, and you're at 7 guys. Like it's really. It's like one of the biggest things I push people. Like, don't just join a team. Get a team of guys you know. It'll be more geschmack, and it's not as hard as people think it is.
Agreed, 100%. Everyone knows enough Jewish geography to pull 10 guys together. You know, you got 1 or 2 backups. Not that difficult. If there's a will, there's a way.
Especially in the HSL, you don't need to be on the roster before the season. Like, if you're missing guys, you get whoever the heck you want. You know, obviously you have to qualify
Right.
for the playoffs, but you don't. Other leagues, you have to have a. You know, if you're not rostered before the season starts, you can't play.
So,
100%.
Jake, how has your experience been at HSL so far, and what are the areas of improvement?
Okay, good. I'm glad you added that caveat because I was going to ask, can I lay down any criticisms? But you gave me
Every podcast, we like to take more and more criticism from all of our guests.
Listen, you put through the fire, it only improves you. I would say my experience has been great. Obviously, it's colored by my team and the success we had this season. But I would say I've really enjoyed it so far. I think the competition, even in Legacy, has been great. I've been talking to some guys in Titan and getting a feel for that. So, it seems that only the top couple teams in Titan are really Titan type of teams, and everyone else kind of the top of Legacy and the mid to bottom of Titan could kind of mesh together depending on you pick and choose a few guys for your team, and then you could be in the other league, type of thing. Couple of criticisms, I would say, not legit criticism. The actual league's been great, like I said, but I would say just field-wise, I definitely would say that could improve in terms of, again, I don't know what's out there as options in the Brooklyn, 5 towns, area, Queens, but, definitely that's something I would say we need to bump up a little bit.
Yeah. Fields are a big concern.
Every single guest I think we have, I think field is the number one, and I think I know why, by the way. It's a very simple reason. Queens has never seen a softball league, right? You have many in the 5 towns, you have many in Lakewood, you have many in Muncie. Donnie Shaman's dialing back in. All of which, I should pick up?
Yeah.
All right.
So we're getting all the boys together?
Boys are getting together.
We're currently live on the on our 10th ever episode of the HSL podcast with Jacob Gelb of the crew. We lost Jacob for a minute, so we wanted to do a live callback. But now Jacob's back on. Is there anything important that you'd like to say while you're live on the podcast to the viewers?
No, much appreciated for the airtime. Certainly not anything that needs to be discussed live.
Okay. So
good luck in everyone's postseason endeavors.
All right. So I'll give you a call back after. Thanks, Don.
Sounds good.
All right, bye.
Wow, you really do this live.
I don't know. He didn't sound too happy. Should I be scared about the callback? He said he has some logistical things he needs to discuss. I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
Well, he just had a girl.
That's true. I should have wished him a mazel tov. You're right.
Yeah, mazel tov to Donnie Scheinman. So, Avi, what were you saying? Queens has never had a softball league.
No, so Queens never had a softball league. So, for example, Lakewood, Muncie, these towns, they're all run by the town, the fields, right? So they have gorgeous fields, grassy areas, a lot of space. Queens, you're dealing with the city. You're dealing with city, you're dealing with the city parks department. You're dealing with these city fields. It's very hard to find fields. And fortunately for us, we had so many teams that there was only a certain amount of 5 towns fields we could find that you still need other fields. And there are also so many teams from Queens. I think we had 6 or 7 strictly Queens teams that, would rather play on a field like Peck than travel 40 minutes, 35 minutes, 25 minutes to the 5 town. So it's a little bit, more common. Thank God we found these fields, right? College Point, which is also in the Queens area, which is much nicer, I think, than Peck. Jacob, have you ever played at College Point, or you haven't played there yet?
We didn't play in College Point yet, no. For some reason, College Point just sounded like not the greatest field. I don't know why. I'm sure they're great, but I don't know. The name, I was just like, nah, I'm playing. You asked me College Point or Lawrence Middle School for the playoff game. I was like, I'm going Lawrence Middle School. Just sounds nicer. and I
No,
played there.
I think Lawrence
Yeah,
Lawrence carries a certain panache always.
Exactly.
So Jake, let's dive down a little bit in your pitching prowess this year. I'm looking at your stats. ERA on the season 2.71. I see that you have one game really that got away from you. Game 5, you won 11-9, but you gave up 7 runs. You remember who you faced?
That was Schwartz Bros. That was the second game of a doubleheader. I was completely gassed. I've never pitched a doubleheader 18 innings in my life, and I had nothing left. I had actually was going to have Michael Cohn, our center fielder, pitch. I told the guys were like, no, we'd rather have you on
By the way,
on
it's not
fumes.
sorry to interrupt, but Michael Cohn is making his way over to Team Nashville Getaways for the Summer League. He's joining our team
Really?
as our backup pitcher.
Oh, good. Huh?
Is Nashville Getaways your team, Avi?
We're going to be Nashville Getaways in the summer. Yeah, Sterling Freeman, Nashville Getaways to be our team in the summer. All right, continue. Sorry about that.
Nice. Okay, good. I'm happy he might get a chance to pitch. Yeah, I saw him do a couple practice pitches.
No, he's not pitching if Avi's on the team. Sorry, Jake.
No, he's going to pitch a lot of games. I got him purposely so I could feel comfortable missing a bunch of games, so I could do highlights and videos. And stuff.
Got it.
Yeah, he seems like I saw him practice pitch a couple times in between innings. He definitely seems like he has the stuff and the demeanor for pitching. You got to have a little chutzpah to you, to confidence on the mound to succeed. But so for that game, I told the guys, like, even before the game started, to let Michael pitch. He said he could pitch. I can't. I have nothing left. And the guys said they'd rather me pitch on fumes than have him pitch.
Why are they so enamored with you, Jacob? Is it the sunglasses? What was the reason they wanted you to pitch, even though you're?
We could do without sunglasses. Let's do without sunglasses. I don't know. I mean, listen. I guess from their perspective, they know at that point that was technically game 5, I think. So I guess they saw me for 4 games already, and they liked what they saw. They were comfortable with me on the mound. It was probably a comfortability thing, and the unknown of Michael. Like, let's just have Jacob pitch, and we'll ride and die with the bed we know, right? Whatever the phrase is.
Yeah. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, or
Yeah,
something else?
that's what I was looking for. I don't know what I said, but that's what I was looking for.
So let's get into the Cy Young race. I think you're going to have my vote.
That's nice. That's good to hear.
Breaking news.
Explain this one. David, let's hear you out a little bit. Ariel Cohen's right now watching. He's hearing David saying that he's going to have Jacob Gelb's vote. Ariel Cohen's glaring at the screen saying, what in the world is David talking about? Look at my stats, my 1.2 ERA and my...
Okay, so I want to... Before
2 point something, 2.10 or something like that. It's not under 2.
Yeah, it's very close. I don't know what it is.
If you take out the rain game, though.
Yeah,
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the rain game. He was blaming the wet ball. Everyone else dealt with the same wet ball, dude. What are you talking about?
Okay, Avi, I'm gonna make this came up. I'm gonna make a very controversial claim here. You guys remember a pitcher on the Mets, R.A. Dickey, a knuckleballer?
Cy Young.
Loved him.
He won a Cy Young, and Clayton Kershaw had a slightly lower ERA. But I think there's something about R.A. Dickey bursting onto the scene out of nowhere, facing a league that he had never pitched in before. He had come from the Blue Jays. Maybe he had been on the Mets a year before that or two, and dominating the league. And I think there's something to be said for that, too. Perhaps the Cy Young Award is not just about the bottom line numbers. There's other things that need to be factored in. You've never seen most of these hitters. Let's say Ariel Cohen, he's facing a guy, he's facing the Black Sox. He's seen these guys 10 times already. More. He's probably pitched 20 games against some of these players.
And to your point, Dave, I want to, add a little bit to your argument. Ariel's been playing with his defense for years. Like, Ariel knows exactly where to pitch. His defense knows him. He knows his defense. Jacob's never played with 7, 8, 9 of these guys in the field, and he's still holding teams to, low 2 ERA. So that's also huge. Again, I know we had the All-Star game a couple days ago. I know there's a lot of errors behind Ariel. Definitely not going to, overshadow that. But, there are 9 or 10 runs given up. So that's definitely also a very legitimate, and plausible reason to maybe vote Jacob over Ariel because of the fact that Ariel's been pitching with these guys for, spring and summers the last 4 or 5 years.
Listen, I definitely appreciate the support, boys. But I will say that, listen, it's not just the literal numbers. I mean, I saw Ariel pitch. Our game 2 we lost 7-1. He was dominant. At the end of the day, He struck out more batters in less innings than me. I walked less in more innings, and he gave up more walks in less innings. So that kind of negates each other. But I mean, the guy's dominant. He has great stuff. Again, I don't know what he looked like in previous years. Maybe he just had one of those years where he was just untouchable. I don't know what he looked like previously. I guess I'll have to see next season if he keeps it up. But
you're pretty persuasive. I might go with Ariel after all.
Listen, I gotta call it as I see it. Listen, there's always that pitcher who has a great year in baseball. He'll go, let's see, at MLB, he'll go 20 and 7 with a 2.9 ERA, 200 strikeouts, and 200 innings. But then there's the guy who went 25 and 1 with a 1.7 ERA. He's gonna win the Cy Young. The other guy had a great year also, shine, but the other guy was better. What can I say?
So Jacob, I think I know who Jacob's vote's gonna go to for Cy Young.
It's Ariel. I mean, listen, I love the season that I had, but I gotta call spade a spade. The guy had a better year.
So Avi, I was talking to Jacob about what makes a seasoned pitcher in these leagues, and Jacob was saying he's a very seasoned pitcher. He's been pitching his whole life. I think there's something very different about pitching when there's actual competition, meaning when there are games, when there are playoffs, when there are championships. So, Avi, you haven't seen Jake go through playoffs and championship yet, but curious if you had any thoughts about his pitching style, any suggestions, any ideas, and curious what you think.
Well, as Jacob said, I think when we were discussing beforehand, I think I saw him pitch in 2 games. Briefly, that one game in the rain, when Diamond Scene's team decided not to show up. So I was over Seattle. I don't think they knew I was there, but I was sort of looking over their game from afar for a few innings. And that was the second half of the doubleheader. At least the brief time period that I saw him pitching, I think there's 2 big strengths that Jacob has. First of all, similar to me, he moves the ball in and out very well. He knows he hits spots in and out really, really well. He changes speeds also, and also doesn't really walk guys, which is huge. Again, even especially when you're dealing with hitters that aren't necessarily the most. What's the difference? Without insulting anybody, there are 2 types of hitters, right? There are hitters that are legit pros who you pitch them, you give them a hard pitch inside, they'll drive it to left. The hard pitch outside, they go opposite field. A lot of the legacy hitters are great, and some of them aren't as great. And it's very important for a pitcher to know you don't necessarily have to beat them every time to get them out. As long as you hit your spots, they'll beat themselves. And I think that's something that Jacob does very well, and it shows. Look at his his stat line, his ERA. How many few men he walked, right? Walking guys in the legacy league, especially against some of the bottom teams, it really could kill you because they wouldn't necessarily be getting hits if you're not walking them. So to throw the ball over twice in a row on a 2-0 pitch might not be the end of the world as opposed to trying to hit a spot and walking a guy. I think that's something he does very well, and it shows. Look at his ERA. Look how many runs they've given up. And like you said, the only 2 big games he left a lot of runs to were the second half of the doubleheader and the Robbins game, which I didn't see, but from what I hear from not Jacob, but from his own defense, is that his defense let him down a lot in that game. And I know Jacob wouldn't say that on the podcast because he doesn't want to throw his defense into the bus. But I was talking with Eli Sabo and Mindy Warsh and a few other guys, and they did say that we wanted the Robbins again. Our defense didn't play well. We could beat them. So I think that's
Sabo. It doesn't surprise me to hear Sabo say that he's got good swagger. Sabo's got good.
He learns it from his brother Yaakov.
Yeah. I would say
the Sabo's got swag. The Sabo's got swag.
I would say Ellie's got more than Yaakov. I think having 3 kids has maybe.
I was gonna say after the twins, some of the swag. We're playing our playoff game this week against the team Mobat, which actually lost 2-1 on the big Yossi Levenger 2-run bomb. So we're looking for some vengeance, and we're playing Diamond Team after. And of course, Moshe Zinn is graduating from Landers and isn't able to make game 2. And Ari Moskovic has a job that he has to leave at 10:30 towards. So we're already very short-handed. So I messaged Yaakov. I'm like, why are you only putting in for game 1? He's like, oh, I don't know, my kids. I'm like, Yaakov, I'll pay for your babysitter. You're playing game 2. It's like, fine. Yaakov Sabo, I know, 7 years ago was traveling upstate going from 5 towns upstate 3 times a summer to play against Rome. Like, come on, you could play an extra.
He'd be camping out on the field the night before to get ready for the game.
Of course, yeah. Come on, it should be a no-brainer. Now we have a full roster. We have a good team. We're excited, but it's not about us right now. Let's continue with the. So Jacob, who are you guys playing first round of the playoffs? You got Andy's Kitchen, huh? What do you think going into that matchup?
Yeah, so we just played the Pandas week 8. We won 5-0. That was my best game of the year at a 3-hit shutout, which was pretty geschmack, I'm not going to lie. So I'm definitely confident going
Wait,
against
who got the hits? Slow down. Who got the hits?
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't know. I would have to go. You have
Curious
to go
if
there
our
stat
boy
line.
Yigal. I'm curious
I was about to say that.
if our
Ben
boy
Hayem.
Yigal Ben Hayim got one
I
of
was
the hits.
actually going to ask Jacob. I don't know if you know who Yigal Ben Hayem is, owner of Elite Cafe, youth sponsor as well. He sponsored one of our youth boys leagues. He made it to the championships in the home run derby. If you have the HSL status saved, you would see that he just lost a close
I
one.
do. I see the statuses. I do.
Good. So I was actually going to ask you. Yigal's probably they have a lot of very solid hitters, but Yigal's one of the top hitters I think in the league in general. He actually pulled up for David's team last night to help David secure a big victory. Yigal is a very dangerous hitter, and I was going to ask you how you can go about facing him, but if you don't know who he is or how he hits, then that question is null and void, I guess.
If you show me a picture, I'll remember who he was. I remember that they had a few hitters that, at the very least, looked very dangerous, but I'm saying I was able to handle them, which was great.
He's their shortstop. He's got a beard. He's like a bigger dude.
I think that's the guy. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
No, he doesn't look good anymore.
He looks nothing like that.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say anything.
He's got a bigger beard.
Yeah, he has a bigger beard now. Yeah.
Oh, so you know who it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think he was their 4-hitter. He was one of their heart of the lineup. Yeah. He was a good hitter. We had some good battles. He had one good rip against me. Was to left, straight to left.
We could pull up.
Wait. One good rip against you and what?
And I think he hit it straight to the left fielder. So maybe let's say you could say that was a hit. So he should have gone 1 for 4. But I got him to swing and miss a bunch of time with a fastball up and in, a couple times change up down and away. So I was able to. It was good. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to do that again. But so yeah, I'm confident going to the Pandas again. I think that we played really well against them. And I'm confident. What can I say?
What do you think about pitcher Ari Slamovic? Any idea about?
So
Ari?
I know Ari actually from Camp Aguda. He's a grade older than me, I think. So we used to pitch against when like the grades would play each other. We would face each other. So he's a good pitcher. We didn't rake against him. We only scored 5 runs. We had a bunch of hits and chances that he got out of. So he's a good pitcher. All credit to him. He definitely has stuff. I think that we're the better team, and I'm confident that we can get another victory against them 2 in a row.
Awesome. Good stuff. I'm going to tag the interview, and I like to put a little blurb about it. I'm going to say Jacob Gelb explains how to dominate Yigal Ben Hayim of the Yannis Kitchen Pandas. A little bulletin board material. So let's wade very gently into politics just for a minute here. Jacob, I've seen some of your posts on social media. Personally, I stay politically neutral in the pod, but I've seen some of your posts here. My understanding is that you were maybe once a Trump supporter, now you're a DeSantis supporter. I was curious about your evolution politically.
We have 2 minutes. What's the hard cap for Avi? 6
No,
o'clock?
you go till 6:05.
I go to 6:05. I'm checking the ways to Muncie now is getting shorter as it's getting later.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, back in 2016, I have a lot to say about this. Obviously, we could go for the next hour. But, yeah, I mean, back in 2016, I was a massive Trump supporter. I remember celebrating when he won. Got to take the country back from the commies, to use a Trump 2024 chat term. And I was a big Trump supporter up until probably around 2019 something. I don't remember exactly when it was that I, kind of went off the train. I don't know, just the chaos of the first Trump administration. I remember every, secretary in the cabinet was, a temporary guy. They were all leaving. It was just a big mess. I had an idea of what Republicans should look like governing, and he just did not do any of that. Policy-wise, that's its own thing, but just the governing and the image of the country I felt like went down, so I kind of went off the Trump train. And that was even before the election in 2020 when I just, listen, everything in my opinion he said was lies, has no bearing in evidence basically. So I felt like he was deceiving the party that I loved, and and the party bought a hook, line, and sinker. So that turbocharged my anti-Trumpness. And yeah, man, listen, Biden, Trump 2024, that's a separate thing from the past because Biden's just a disaster, but But it
won't be easy for you to pull that lever. It won't be easy for you to pull that lever for Trump.
Listen, I would never vote for Biden or a Democrat. But listen, your real question in the Gemara logic would be, if you lived in Michigan and it was up to you as the one deciding vote, would you pull the lever for Trump? I don't know. I don't know. It would have to be like one of those things where you're in the booth, you don't know till then what you're gonna do, and then you make a decision that cuts the black, no one knows, like that type of thing, so I can't say.
Where did you grow up, Jacob?
Flatbush, Brooklyn. I went to Mir Yeshiva for elementary school and high school. And then I went to Eretz Yisrael for 3 years in Portnoy. And then I came back, went to Shir for 3 years. And then I started working 9 months ago.
So you're about 25, 26?
I turned 25 in December.
Wait, so you overlapped with Yaakov or Eli in Portnoy? Is one of them?
Yaakov. So I was there with Yaakov for my first year there. He was just, that was his last year. My first year was his last year.
So let's return back to the pitching critiques. I love having on pitchers together. Jacob, what do you think about Avi as a pitcher? And do you have any thoughts or critiques? What's that?
Listen.
Has he ever seen you pitch?
So that's what I'm saying. I've never seen Avi pitch, but what I've heard, and Avi, I wanted to touch on this, you pitch in Muncie for my uncle, Eli Gelb.
Oh, he is your uncle. It's so funny. My wife was asking me before the podcast. I told her we're having on Jacob Gelb. She was like, any relationships to the Gelb in Muncie? And I said, I don't think so. I had no clue you guys are related. It's very cool. Yeah, Eli. Eli's our coach. He was our captain / coach for the last 5 years on the team. Now he's taking a little bit of a seat back. He's a co-captain with Yitzi Stern, who played on Team Lynx in the Titan League. And Eli's a pitcher. Eli pitched for the team. I pitch, and when I can't make it, he pitches.
Very cool. Yeah, he's my uncle. Yeah, he told me about you. I was with him for Shabbos a couple weeks ago, and I was telling him about the HSL. He's like, oh, Avi Edelman, sure, great pitcher. He's filthy. I was like, listen, I got to see him pitch one of these days.
Did you bring up the Let's Go to him? He loves my Let's Go. You should have told him that you're going on the Let's Go podcast. He's obsessed with it. That's where that's where Let's Go really was born. Was in Muncie. When I would get off the mound in Romu, I did it all the time. You could look back videos of after we win a game, I'll go Let's Go, and then Barry Feldman, the senior Alpha division head, who was all excited about me. They would always like get me on camera and make fun of it. But like in Muncie, guys would get so upset when I give a big "Let's go" after like a big inning. Like they would think I'm like stuffing it in their face, and like it just grew from there. Like when I won the Cy Young in Muncie a few years ago, 3 years ago or something. It was Avi Let's Go Edelman was the title of the award. And that's
I see that's your name here on this on your video square. That's your name, Avi Let's Go Edelman. Yeah, I do that. Like I'll give a Let's Go. I'll give like a Let's Go. Let's say after like an inning strikeout with like a couple men on base. It's not stuffing the other team. You just got to let out that whoop, that like, that exhilaration. So I'm all about it.
That's actually where I'm going, by the way. After in a few minutes now, I'm heading to Muncie for a big game in the MSL. MSL is always welcome to be mentioned on this podcast. We don't got no problems with MSL. Yitz Greenbaum and the boys, they're good people. Ellie Race, the official MSL broadcaster and the official MSL maintenance man, always welcome here. They've done nothing but been good to us, and that's all we'll speak about other leagues.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to touch on something Avi had said before quickly. Yeah, but just a tactical pitching point of that. Yeah, in these leagues, you don't walk guys. Even in the Titan League, I'm sure there's plenty of teams that you just pitch to them. There's like a half a chance they'll just pop out or ground out anyway. So if you have a half decent defense behind you, just don't walk guys and don't give up free bases. So you obviously have to have some solid level of hand-eye coordination to be able to get over the plate and put it on the corners. But yeah, walking guys, big no-no. So that's something I'm proud of. I'm proud of myself and thankful for that. I don't really walk too many guys.
Dave, can I ask one more question before you wrap up here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jacob, what's your thoughts on the Robins in next year? You guys want them around? Well, assuming you guys stay in Legacy, which isn't such a crazy thing. But let's say you guys are in Legacy, would you want the Robins around next year, or you think it's the right thing for them to go up to Titan?
Listen, it seems that from previous years, right? It seems that from previous years they weren't as dominant as they are this year. Maybe they're just having one of those years. So, and if they've always been in Legacy and they haven't always dominated, I guess. Who am I to say that, they should leave Legacy?
Usually there's been one league. So they had to deal with the Bombers. They had to deal with a couple of really top.
The Blue Wahoos.
The Blue Wahoos, which is why they didn't want to go to Titan, because they feel like if they're in Titan, they would get the 3, 4, 5 seed and get eliminated in the first round, maybe the semis. And it felt like in Legacy they were shot at winning the championship. They haven't won a championship in the HSL and the Sunday Morning Spring League in how long? 10 years? 15? Like, I don't know the last time.
We should look it up. Yeah,
it's been a while.
I mean, I would apply what's the famous saying, better to be a tail among lions than a head among foxes. I mean, I think that you always want to be the underdog. You don't want to be like, oh, you're like default already, like going in like the best team, so you have the chance to win the championship. What does that mean to win the championship if you know you're going to win everybody? That there's no competitive win there. There's no feeling. There's no accomplishment there. Like, of course you were going to win. So based off that logic, I would say they should definitely join Titan. But listen, maybe next year they won't have as good a season and they'll be more competitive in Legacy. So, yeah, I think that I would definitely want to see them again just to test ourselves against them again. Hopefully we'll see them in the playoffs again.
Right.
All right. Well, it's been a real pleasure, Jacob. Thanks for joining with us from the car on the way home from work. Everybody should know Jacob is a very busy man, and he's known as a whale in the property management business in Brooklyn. So,
David Gottlieb term. No one else has ever said that.
Has a busy evening. He learns. Are you married?
Not yet.
And then he learns in Davin. So he said I have a half hour free every day. So we're really appreciative that he's able to make it on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Listen, I think, what was it, week 2 you had asked me to come on? And so, yeah, now I'm happy I came on now at the end of the season.
Okay,
all right, Jake,
great.
thanks for coming on. I'll send
Thanks for
regards to
coming
your
on.
uncle in an hour and a half. See you,
My
everyone.
pleasure, guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to the other part. We're not sure if it's the first part or the second part.
No, this is all one episode
of the 10th episode. I know, but it's not clear if it's part 1 or part 2.
Everyone watching it is thinking this is a continuation of the same episode.
Yeah, I know. So, episode 10 of the
Let's Go podcast.
We all have to be a little
so
quiet.
excited.
We have to be.
I have to be quiet. My wife told me my kid's sleeping in another room, so I have to do a quiet Let's Go this time.
My son's
also, we're still really within the same podcast. So for everyone watching, it's gonna be like a double up of.
But wait, 1 second, Avi. We need a Let's Go out of Mr. Nenner over here.
Same excuse. My daughter's sleeping. I can't.
We were on a good streak. Like the first 4 podcasts, they wouldn't do Let's Go, and then the Syrian kids started the Let's Go. But it looks like Mr. Nenner's breaking the streak.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing. Like I said, it's one long podcast, so we still, for the viewers out there, they'll still see the big Let's Go from Mr. Gelb in the beginning. That might have been the loudest, longest Let's Go we've had from all of our guests so far.
So we're very excited to have Avi Nenner on tonight. He is a bit of a softball. I think he's reaching, after the Steve Pollen interview, I call him the legendary Steve Pollen. He said, I want to be a legend. I said, you're not there yet, but you're moving in the right direction. Another 10 plus years, I think. So to those who don't know, Avi's a very, very talented hitter and a lockdown first baseman at this point in his career, which we'll get into. Gold glove first baseman who has an unusual distinction of winning a championship in at least one of the 4 or 5 seasons he plays in every year. For how many years, Avi?
I think it's 5 now.
5 years in a row. What did this streak start with?
Actually, championship with you, David. It's been bookended with 2 championships with you. There's been one with Avi in the middle. However, there should be a second one. We won't get into that. But no free shout outs, but everyone should join the HSL Fall League this coming year.
Yes. We must have brought that up a few times, how HSL will be having a Fall League and there'll be no other mention of any other Fall League in the area other than HSL.
So the first So the first of the streak was that was summer 2018 with the Black Sox, which I missed the championship game.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't know Avi won a championship with the Black Sox.
Yeah.
My last season with the Black Sox. And then Shmuel Rada told me to go make my own team, but we don't need to get into that either, Doug.
I think something I've discovered being around softball for a while now, I've been probably around 2018, 2017 was when I started. There's inevitably politics. And at the beginning, I took it personally. But then I realized there's just so many moving parts. There's different allegiances, different alliances. This guy wants to play third base. This guy was a lockdown shortstop for 20 years, and now he's being told he's too old, but he has somebody else who will let him play shortstop. That there's inevitably going to be bad blood, and the best is not to take it personally, but it's not always easy not to take it personally.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's probably one of the reasons I don't like to captain a team anymore. It's too much.
So, I was gonna wait for this part, but since you mentioned it, the last non-Bombers championship in the HSL spring was the Bad Jews Bears. You were the captain of that team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a fun team. That was
Avi Weinberg?
That was. Weinberg played third base for us. He asked to play third base, and he left. I want to say he was playing for the Robins, but he had a passion to play third base. So he was like, I'll come play for you if you let me play third base. It's like,
Who pitched for
okay.
that team? Was that Wildstein?
That was Wildstein. It was, I think the last year he's pitched. He moved out to Westchester, and that was it for his softball.
Every once in a while, Shmuel Rada will message me, "What do you think about Wildstein pitching this Sunday?" And I'm like, "I'm all for it, but I haven't seen the guy in like 4 years."
Yeah, no, he moved out to Westchester, and it's just a long commute.
So you said that's the reason you don't want to captain anymore, but you guys won a championship. So what was bad about captaining?
It was just tough. I remember in our semifinal game, our 2, 3, 4 hitters all bailed after Friday afternoon. So it was like just trying to find subs, and then having to convince the other team that the sub is not too good because they weren't playoff qualified. And then the next year we tried having a team, and within like 3 weeks, guys were just like, I can't play anymore. Like they all moved away, and it just gets really difficult to find subs if you don't know so many people.
Well, one of the rumors about Shmuel Rada, I mention this almost every podcast, is that he teaches high school kids just so he can have a pipeline to his softball teams.
Did they confirm that in the interview when we had them on? I think they did confirm that. No, that
Yeah,
Shmuel,
the Syrian kids. Yeah,
coaches-
they said he used to talk to him about. He used to talk to them about playing softball when they were like 14, 15 years old in high school.
how he needs to get 3 replacements for the game Sunday and stuff like that.
And for those who don't know, Avi is wearing the Bad Jews Bears jersey.
Yeah, well, I heard I got thrown under the bus by Tovia saying it wasn't a legitimate championship. He beat the Bombers, but, last I checked, I have the trophy on my mantle.
Do you know why he says it wasn't legitimate?
Because he beat the Bombers, so to him,
No, he claims, I don't know exactly, he claims there was some play in the game where the umpire, who shall not be named, made a very aggressive call that messed up the team.
I'm not sure. And we won by multiple runs, and at one point we hit a sac fly, and the guy scored from second. So, I don't know. They weren't playing their tip-top game that day.
So you feel it was unfair and square. So that gets into the question of the Bombers. I wasn't sure who was the team to beat this year, King Ventures or the Bombers. The Bombers obviously knocked off King Ventures in the last game of the season. And I think it's safe to say that the Bombers are the team to beat. They're 10-0. They've won the championship for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, something like that.
4 years, I think, yeah.
4 years. Bad Jews won it about 4 years ago. I think the Bombers are the team to beat, and King Ventures is number 2. The question is, do you have the secret sauce to take on the Bombers?
I mean, we got to go win our playoff game first. We don't even know who we're playing. It could be against Avi. It could be, we don't even know who our first opponent is. We definitely have to go win that
Dave,
game.
I'm sitting here now. You're asking Avi Nenner how they're going to take down the Bombers. There's a 90% chance it'll be King Ventures versus Switch On Solutions first. You're giving me a 0% chance of winning, Dave. I hear 10 or 20, but a 0% chance. Come
Commissioner,
on.
the deeper issue is that people are finding out that much like the NFL, the HSL is rigged. And, the HSL is heavily invested in a King Ventures Bombers championship. So that's what's really going on here. And I just gave it away to all our viewers.
Listen, you let me go against Avi in any game. I like my chances. So.
It's true. Avi, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, has made out once in his last 14 at-bats. I think that was the numbers. I think it was like 12 in a row at one point, 13 in a row, and then he made out, I think, to end the last game we played against each other. He flew out. I think it was like 11 for 11 with 2 walks, or 12 for 12 with a walk. And he flew out to right center, I think, his last at-bat.
This is why you...
Wait, so he flew out in his last at-bat when? Oh, in your game this
Monday night.
So say that stat one more time.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was 11 for 11 with a walk, or 12 for 12 with a walk in his last 13 at-bats against me until his last at-bat. So now it's 12 for 13 with a walk or something.
So that's wow. Mr. Nenner, what do you have to say about that?
I went for a heat check.
Avi claimed he tried crushing over the fence in right field. Otherwise, he'd be 13 for 13 right now.
See, I just missed it. It's okay. It
Did you
happens.
say a heat check?
Yeah, and the guy goes shoots a three from the logo.
He's
Sometimes you
feeling
just got to
confident. You
try
got to hit
it.
every time. He's like, let me try to carry one over the fence and put some icing on the cake.
And what did happen?
I flew out, but we
Flew
won the
out to
game.
right
That's
field,
all
yeah.
that matters.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Avi Edelman has helped some of the pitchers that I pitch with help with powerful lefties by advising the pitcher to really pound the corner, or even the catcher should set up a couple of inches towards the batter, 4 inches even. And very often that puts the hitter in a very difficult position as a lefty, especially if they pull. So, Avi, what's your way of dealing with that when Edelman pitches to you that way?
Well, I think part of the issue is me and Avi are both students of the game, so we like to discuss strategies. So I know his strategy on me, and he knows my strategy on him. So he's gonna pound me inside. I'll back up off the plate. He'll
Yeah, what
put
Abi's very
one on
good
the
at, and
other
I think,
way. Is I'll go the other way off of him.
yeah, Abi's very good at doing two things against me. A is he's very good at slowing me down. The way I work, my biggest strength is my location, and my location's at its best when I'm in a rhythm. The second I have to slow down is the second I'll start missing my spot. And Abi's very good. If I miss my spot by 2 inches, a little bit more towards the middle of the plate, he'll drive it really, really hard to right center field. And a big, like I said, a big reason why I like pitching lefties inside is because it gets in their head like, oh, I see a massive shift on the right side. I'm getting a ball inside. Maybe I should try to go to left field. And he pops out. Abi's still going to drive it to right field and trust that he's hit it hard enough for a hit. And if I miss it by an inch, he's going to hit it hard enough for a hit. And I think it happened. I think at least 3 or 4 of Avi's hits in his last 10 at-bats were rockets that went through the right side, even though he had 3 guys on the right side. Because it was hit so hard, it still got through. Which, again, is a big part of, like I was saying earlier, the advantage of pounding someone inside isn't really that they're going to, make out to right field. It's that in their head, it's going to be like, how can I go to right? There's so many guys there. Let me go to left. And then they're going to try to, do something weird like this, and then, pop out or dribble out, or then they're going to be behind 0-2, and next thing you know, they have to go to right, and then they're not in the driver's seat. So it's really a matter of being smart at the plate, which Avi is probably his best attribute at the plate is being smart. He's a smart hitter, slows pitchers down, knows what he's doing exactly at the plate, and if you miss away, he'll slice to left field. So
It's interesting when you say about slowing him down because there's some leagues are interested in adding in rules that you're not allowed to step out of the batter's box. Slowing down a pitcher too much is banned in certain. I think entire countries are actually taking on this role. But so this is very interesting to me as somebody who's I'm trying to become more cerebral about the game like you guys.
Well, Dave, now that you're becoming an all-star catcher, you got to really be in the.
I want to get back to second base, but it's not. The path back from catcher to second base is more complicated than I realized. So pitchers what is the next solution to getting out Avi Nenner? And maybe we could turn that to you, Avi, first.
Well, for me personally, or for a pitcher.
No. I was asking Avi Nenner. It's hard with the two Avis. I was asking Avi
Asking him
Nenner.
how to get himself out?
Beats
How do you
me.
get yourself out, Avi?
Still figuring that one out.
So then let's move into the next question. Who's the pitcher you don't want to face?
That's a good question.
I don't know. It's a good question. I've been facing a lot of these pitchers for almost 10 years now, so pretty used to a lot of them. I've never really faced Daniel Ash.
I was about to ask you about Ash.
I play behind him. I do think I would have the advantage just knowing how he pitches to lefties and whatnot.
How does Ash pitch to lefties?
Oh, I'm not giving that one up. I'm looking for another championship there. But
Yeah.
I mean, Avi, you could interject, but
No,
I don't know.
Ash to righties. I'm saying in general, Ash is. I never see anybody throw it as hard as Ash does, and he hits it right. In order to get hit off, like I was speaking to Ellie Race last week, and Ellie Race is complaining how he drives in from Muncie, over an hour for every game, and he gets nothing in left field because nothing goes to the outfield. He pitches it so hard and so in that in order to get a hit, you have to have your wrists have to be made of steel. Like it's almost you have to be able to turn on it and drive it at the same time, which is nearly impossible. The only way you get a hit is if he leaves it over the middle and you have a super quick swing and you get around on his fastball, or he walks you. It's so hard.
In
Very, very hard.
my opinion, you basically need a shortstop at second base because the second baseman's getting more balls than the left side of the infield.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many jam shots, pop ups, and like ground balls to the right side on weak contact. Because if some pitches are really fast over the middle, that's one thing. You swing quick and you'll be able to drive it. But he hits he just pounds you in, and with his speed, which I think he's the fastest pitcher I've seen. I think he's faster than Diamondstein. He's faster than Steve. I think even this guy Nathan Batesh from Deal, who's a phenomenal pitcher, he has tremendous movement. Different pitcher than Ash, but faster than him. The guy is just the fastest pitcher I've ever seen, and he locates it almost beautifully. And when he doesn't, he'll walk you. Like, he will never give in. I don't think I've maybe seen him throw 2 changeups in my life. The guy just throws fastball after fastball after fastball, and he trusts, even if he walks 2 guys in 1 inning, he won't walk the other 3.
Avi, so let me ask you a question, Mr. Edelman, I should say.
Yeah.
When you guys when you guys won the championship in the Monday Night League 2 years ago, did you face Ash in
No.
the playoffs?
No, we didn't.
How did you avoid him?
I don't think we did. We beat Ash in the regular season. I think Ash hurt his back in the 3rd inning of one game. We scored a bunch of runs off him. It was the only time my team ever beat Ash's team. It was the only time I actually let up less than 3 runs against them in my career against Ash's team. They lost in the first round to either, I don't know who it was. It was either to Steve or it was to Koenig. Our path that year was we beat David Cuss. We were 3-7 in the regular season. We snuck in. We played a wild card game. It was like a legit Cinderella ride. We played a wild card game against David Cuss and his father. Beat them. We then went down 1-0 against Koenig and who's the pitcher with Koenig again?
No, is it not Yossi?
Yossi Kaufman. We went down 1-0. We won 2 in a row against them, and then we played Steve in the championship and we swept them. So that means Ash must have lost to Steve, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So I want to go. Okay, so let me go back to something. You're talking about what a powerful pitcher Ash is. So Avi Nenner, Avi has talked about the Bombers' fielding strategy before, about bringing in the outfielders and basically challenging people to hit anything more than a bloop. When you play with Ash, you don't do that. You don't. The outfield doesn't come all the way into in the same way they do that with Steve. That's not their strategy.
It depends on the hitter. Obviously, there's a lot of professional hitters, but a lot of times recently, in last year and this year, we changed up the strategy to play 5 infielders, force you to hit into the outfield.
Right,
And
that's another.
it's the same thing with the whole strategy of Avi pitching in and out. Now we're going to force you go hit in the gap. If you beat us, you beat us. So be it. Everyone's a good hitter. You could totally beat us, but also if you're going to hit it on the ground, you're not getting a hit on us. It's
Right.
not happening.
Yeah, it's also similar to what the Bombers do with the 5 infield's even a bigger step. Basically saying we don't trust you can even get the ball to the outfield, and we don't want to give any cheap ground balls that sneak through.
Okay, so race roaming out there. It's also easy to say,
Right.
Go cover half the field.
Has he gotten one fly ball yet this whole season in left field?
Not in an Ash, maybe in an Ash game once, but he's gotten in Kaufman and Diamondstein games.
Oh, that's
Really poor race.
so. Let's Avi Nenner. Let's go back a little bit. When did you get your start playing baseball or softball, hardball? Some of the youth leagues in the Jewish leagues are hardball. Why don't you give us a little bit of a background how you got your start?
I've literally my earliest memory is playing baseball in my backyard, playing with my grandfather, playing with my father, and then
Your dad's dad?
no, my mom's dad,
Dad and your
and
dad.
then playing with my dad a lot. As a kid, I remember hitting off the tee, throwing the ball around. And then when I was about to start Yiddish League in Passaic, my parents were like, "No, this is too religious. We got to leave." So
Little League where? Oh, in Passaic?
in Passaic, yeah, it's actually called Yiddish League.
You were living in Passaic back then.
Yeah, Yiddish League.
This is
Avi,
before.
Avi, where's your Hillcrest, Yiddish League?
This is before the.
Should we rename our youth program the HSL Yiddish League?
I think so. I maybe we'd get an Avi Nenner out of the equation. It might be worth it in the long run.
No,
This is
so
before
then-
the Nenners went modern Orthodox. They had a yeshivish time.
I guess you can say so. Listen, my parents are both Muncie people, so
Yeah, the Nanners are all over
definitely
Muncie.
something there. And then I remember, I guess I played Little League. I don't. I guess I remember playing Little League. Little League in Hank Plainview. Remember, always every Sunday morning playing. I think my dad coached me a little bit. And then we moved to West Hempstead, and my parents signed me up for baseball. There was the Shul softball. My parents signed me up for the PAL baseball. A couple of us played PAL baseball. We played until
What is PAL?
the Police Athletic League. They ran the leagues around West Hempstead, so we all played hardball and we played roller hockey.
Mm.
So
I know somebody else who runs leagues around West Hempstead now.
So let's continue. So we played hardball for a while, and then a couple of us got invited to go play travel ball, but travel ball was only on Shabbos, so my parents didn't let me play. And the only thing you can do then as a Jew is play softball.
There you go.
And so from 9th grade on, I guess 10th grade, because I didn't even make my 9th grade team. So from 10th grade on, we played softball.
What position were you playing in the early days?
I grew up playing center field and catcher, even though I'm a lefty.
Well,
Yeah, my dad found a lefty catcher's mitt, and Mike Piazza was my idol. I fell in love.
I never realized that's so interesting. I never realized that catcher is controversial. Lefty is controversial for catcher. That's because most of the hitters are righty. Why is that weird?
It's a good question.
But
No,
it's
I think
unusual.
It's unusual. I think there's only been like one or two that made the majors.
The only reason I could see it being weird is I don't know, probably like 60%, 70% of the hitters are righty, so maybe it's just annoying to throw back. But I don't see any other reason because you're not throwing down to first base that often. I don't get.
And you would think that throw to third base, you'd be able to throw behind the batter then.
right.
I would think so. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Okay, so you were playing center field growing up, and then eventually you found your one true love, and I'm not talking about Talia, I'm talking about first base. I'm talking about your first baseman's mitt, because everybody should know Avi Nenner, being a team player, shows up to a game with about 4 different baseball gloves. One for first base, one for the outfield, one for, I don't know. Do you still have a catcher's mitt in that bag of yours?
I do not. Not. But I guess I started playing first base 2017 only.
Very recently.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Fairly recent. I started playing, in all of the leagues here, all the softball leagues. I was playing outfield, and I always joke to Ash and Shmuel Englander, who was our first captain of any of my teams. I always said when I get to play first base, that's when I'll know a team is really good, because we'll have real outfielders.
So you didn't trust yourself as a center fielder?
Oh, I love playing the outfield, but there's just
There's always someone.
There's more athletic guys out there.
Well, the way you were dashing around the bases on Wednesday night, I don't know. Or Tuesday night, was it,
Wednesday night league, Tuesday night games. I don't know.
What did you say? Say that again?
Wednesday night league, Tuesday night games. This is what it is.
Dave, when's the playoff start for you after next week?
It's a while.
A month and a half from now.
Oh, it's a while.
And it's fluky. It's fluky. It's totally fluky. So it's interesting though. You're playing center field all those years, and I guess maybe you were just more athletic than the people you were with, so they had you in center field instead of going a position more. Did anybody ever suggest third base?
No, I'm a lefty. It wasn't even a thought.
Oh, you're a lefty. Okay.
I know a lefty third baseman.
He's pretty good in the field. Not gonna lie, he can pick it with the best of them.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, so you and at Hank, you missed the team in 9th grade, and this is a junior varsity team.
I missed the JV team freshman year of high school.
Wow. Explain what happened.
When you go out there and you try to hit a ball really far, and you just swing and miss over and over again.
But that's really interesting though, because what I've always been impressed with is you have a very intellectual approach to the game. You're always watching videos. You're always trying to learn. So I guess back then you were just not doing that.
I think sometimes you could just get up to the plate and just try too hard. Think about, you go play golf. You try to smash the ball. Ball's probably going to go 3 feet in front of you, and you're going to look like an idiot. Like, sometimes you just have to take a breath before you step in the batter's box and just be like, just trust it. Just rip it.
So then you come back for the interview, for the tryout the next year, and you get on the team. What happened?
Just didn't try as hard, I guess. Just more relaxed. I read somewhere that if you chew gum, that tells your body to relax because you would never be eating if you're in a nervous situation. So I'm always chewing gum when I play.
Wait, say that one more time. Say that one more time.
If you chew gum, your body thinks that you're in a safe situation because you'd never be in a situation where you're dangerous and you'd be eating. Like it's not human nature to eat in dangerous situations. So I always chew gum whenever I play. Whenever anything, I go for a job interview. I go play a game like right before take it out right before, but chew some gum just to calm my body down.
Do you feel like it helped?
100%.
It's
I mean,
really
at
neat.
this point, like, I don't think I need it. Like, I'll swing, I'll get on first base, be like, oh wait, where's my gum? But like for the most part, like I'll put in a piece of gum before every game.
All right, cool. So let's move into another area. How's your experience been of the revamped HSL, and what areas of feedback do you have for us?
It's been really nice. It's nice that the field locations have expanded, especially since I no longer live in West Hempstead. It's nice that there's some fields here in Queens. It's great that we all got jerseys this year. That was included. That was really nice. It feels like there's a little more camaraderie, team pictures, a website. That's really cool. Check your stats. I mean, my team could have stepped it up just a little bit better, but
Dave, where's Avi holding in the bat? Avi, where'd you finish in the batting
Batting
title?
race? I don't know exactly. I need to check. I'm actually not sure offhand, because I might have forgot to add the King Ventures. Unfortunately, we love Michael Diamondstein, but he wasn't on top of the stats. So I was individually soliciting players for their stats, and I might have forgot to do Avi for the last game. He definitely was not the batting champion. I made sure of that, but he did have a very strong season.
no one's as good as Glenn.
Weren't you at one point, like the beginning of the season, like 8 for 8 or something? Like when I faced you the second week of the season, you went 4 for 4 off me. I think you were like 8 for 8 or something at that point.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I made my first stat, I think, in our 4th game.
Wow.
I want to get back to Glenn in a second and our HSL Titan League batting champion, but keep telling us about the HSL and give us the real criticisms. Give us the juice.
I think people could have stepped up and taken more stats. Maybe there needs to be an incentive. Maybe a 10% discount for the person who takes stats or something. I don't know, just something to Obviously, there are guys who want to do it, but there are guys who also don't know how to do it and would want to do it. So maybe teaching some guys would incentivize them. I think that would be cool.
Meaning teaching people how to keep score.
Yeah, I'm sure there are guys out there who just don't want to ask about it, but would be down to learn how to do it, and then would be down to do it. It's like, David, we play together, and Adam Bromberg does a great job of keeping stats. But when he's batting, it kind of gets left alone. There's not, unless he tells someone what to do, it kind of just gets left there for him to remember what happened.
It's funny. I'm into stats. I don't even know how to keep stats properly.
Gotta follow Evan Roberts.
he loves that stuff. That's actually the second Evan Roberts mentioned in this podcast.
Who else mentioned Evan Roberts? Oh, because of the Yigal Batayim.
Yigal used to play in his hardball league.
Yeah.
I think first year of a league, I think you guys did great. I think it's hard to judge who should be in what league and so on and so forth. I think it'd be cool if you had some type of like relegation system, the way soccer does in Europe.
I'm into it.
Dom, our official coordinator, Dom DeRosa also believes something like the winner of top 2 in the Legacy should go to the Titan, and the bottom 2 of Titan should go to Legacy.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, it's a great idea, especially because then it makes the Titan League, the Legacy League, the semifinal games even more. You win that game, you automatically get a promotion.
Wait, say that one more time. If you win,
that means you get a promotion to the Titan League for the next year.
So and then what? And then what will happen if you do that? There are people who are going to want to be on your team. Like, let's say the Crew gets promoted to the Titan League, and they could try recruiting a little bit, and there are going to be people who are going to want to play for them. They're hot. It makes you hot, also. I think
It does make you hot.
It also lets people see different competition. At the end of the day, some players might be better than others, but when you're facing competition for the first time, it's any given Sunday.
and something I learned from, and I think you would agree with this, Avi Nenner. Something I learned from Steve Pollan in the interview we did with him is you're not going to get better unless you get those reps over and over and over again. So you have, the Robins are their own thing, whatever they like being in Legacy. But you have a team like the Crew who came out of nowhere. They showed up. We don't know who they are. They've given up 3 runs a game in the Legacy League. Let's see what they do in the Titan League. Maybe they give up 7 runs, but maybe 7 runs a game. Maybe the next season they give up 6 runs a game, and then the season after that 5 runs a game. Who knows? And then it takes time to adjust to the top competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's the only way to get better. Especially, we all have day jobs. It's not like we're going out there and practicing. How else are you getting better except for playing in these games? So play the best competition over and over again. Eventually, you start getting around on the ball. You start learning the
I don't
field
know.
cleaner.
As a competitor, I don't get how anybody, obviously, like we mentioned earlier, there are some teams who don't want to leave the Legacy League, but I don't know. At least for myself, growing up, the better I got at softball, the more competition I wanted to face. I'd rather. I love winning, probably more than anybody. I'm obsessed with winning, and I get super sad and depressed when I lose. But that being said, I'd rather play in a quote unquote A League and not make the playoffs than play in a B League and win the championship. If I knew beforehand that if I play in the B League, I win a championship, play in the league, I wouldn't make the playoffs, I would still choose the A League because of the competition and the rivalry and the having to beat guys that are better than me. I'd rather beat someone better than me than beat someone worse than me, and I'd rather lose to someone better than me than beat someone worse than me. I want that chance. So it just bothers me. It bothers me when if a team is a decent team and practically they're going to go to the higher league and it won't be fun because they're going to be getting forfeited. That's why we created the Legacy League for stuff like that. But a team that has pieces, that has the ability to compete at some level, I think definitely should if given the opportunity should jump on that. I think we all have one team in mind here as we're talking about this. But
listen, I'll just give a shout out to my cousin who could play with the best of them. He would be a top player, and I'm pretty sure he did. Was he top 5 in batting title in that league?
I think so. He's very talented. He's a very talented kid, and I was going to say, some scouts are saying that Yehuda Nenner is the better of the Nenners right now.
He could be. We're very different players, but we're both bad on ball hitters.
What does that mean, a bad on ball hitter?
We're gonna go look to make contact first and foremost.
Yehuda plays for the Robins, no?
Yeah, he plays
So
left
they have
field.
3. So the Robins have both Goldenbergs and Nenner, and what's his face? They have 4 of the top 5 batting leaders on their team.
Well, one of the Goldenbergs is away.
One's in Israel.
Let me check.
One's in Israel, so he probably only played if he was back for.
The amazing thing about Yehuda Nenner is he doesn't run around the bases. He glides. He floats.
It's like he's on ice skates. It's crazy.
You don't see his feet. You don't see him.
No, he also looks like he runs straight from first to third without going to second. It's incredible.
He cuts across the infield.
Yeah.
But he's too fast for the umpires to notice.
Oh no, the Robins only Nenner's. I'm looking for Nenner. Oh, here's Nenner. No, where's Nenner?
Oh boy.
Nenner. All right, no, Nenner's 11 or 12 in batting average. He's not
What's his on base percentage?
I think he took an O for the last game because.
Oh, is that what dropped him? Because I could have sworn I saw him up there. His on base percentage, same spot basically. 10,
same spot. Okay, he's
10,
young.
11. Yeah.
He's young. But he has 14 or 15 runs scored. By the way.
Runs scored.
He has a lot of runs scored. I noticed.
It's a very underrated stat, by the way.
Yeah, Yehuda Nenner has 16. He's tied for the lead with Ellie Stool. And then
tell me why it's underrated. Ellie Stool,
the
OPS. Oh, that's interesting though, because Ellie Stool is the OPS champion, and Yehuda Nenner has the same amount of runs as him. So, Avi Nenner, tell us why runs are an underrated stat.
Because you have to get on, you have to get on and then get into scoring position. There's so many different ways to get into scoring.
I would say even more than that, especially in the Legacy League. where I would say certain things aren't as tight in terms of hitting the cutoff man, in terms of just the situational awareness. We saw playing our Wednesday night game, somebody caught a ball at second base and then forgot to throw home. Stealing runs
Tuesday
is
night.
Tuesday night.
Wednesday night league, Tuesday night games.
Stealing runs. We saw Avi Nenner. Avi Nenner had a situational awareness. He was on third base. A ball was hit, I would say, on the lip of the outfield, right? It was on the lip of the outfield. Avi Nenner comes home because he knew who the left fielder was. He knew who the catcher was and dashes home. You could probably steal in an 8-game season. You could probably steal a run every other game. Somebody like Yehuda Nenner can probably do that pretty easily.
Definitely. He's going at least 2 bases on every single. It's crazy.
So what are areas of improvement? Yeah, what Avi? Sorry.
No, so I got distracted. Adam Bromberg had a phenomenal season. I didn't realize he leading the league in hits. He's second in average.
Oh, he's leading in hits. I didn't know that.
He had 20 hits. He's leading the league in hits.
I don't know if he should get a call out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I call Adam on the phone?
Guest appearance.
We had.
It depends. It depends on if the Rangers are winning or not.
Oh, it's a good point. You're right. You should know. By the way, I want
to. Ooh, they're down 3-2 with 35 seconds left in the game.
Rangers are down 3-2.
Yeah, the Rangers just scored. The Rangers scored 15 seconds ago, and now they've got 35 seconds left to score.
Oh boy, that means Adam Bromberg's going to be in a tough spot.
It's actually tough.
Go ahead.
No. Go.
We're already at 36 minutes. I have 1 or 2 more questions I want to get to.
You should know we're doing this podcast during. The Rangers just lost. Oh boy, my brother-in-law is going to be so happy.
Your brother-in-law? Oh, that's what.
One of my brother-in-laws.
He friended me on Facebook, Benjamin King, right?
Oh, BK, yeah, that's my brother-in-law still is here.
Yeah, I see he's in Florida for all the games or something.
He just got back. They went for both. BK went with my in-laws, and he went with my father-in-law with Svi, my other brother-in-law who lives there, to the last 2 Ranger-Panther games. Svi is a massive Panther fan, and BK's in between because he's a massive Ranger fan, but he does tickets for a living.
I was going to say, did he get stuck with those tickets?
He's making bank off of the Panther tickets. So he was rooting for when it was 1-1 in the series, he was rooting for the Rangers to win. But once the Rangers went up 2-1, he was rooting for the Panthers to win, so it guarantees a game 6 in Florida.
Listen, Avi, though, I get his family, but if you're going to call out anyone for tickets, you got to call out Nashville Getaway's own Sterling Friedman.
Of course.
You know what's the Nashville Getaway's Black Sox and magically was left off of the jersey? So disappointed.
That seems to be Sterling's MO.
Yeah, but being left out. But this in the summer, he's going to be Nashville Getaways regular. Not going to be a name. We're going to be Team Nashville Getaways, our team.
Basically, Edelman dumped Nashville Getaways onto the Black Sox, didn't include it, and now
you know what the Black Sox sponsor is going to be this year? I haven't even introduced you what your sponsor is going to be for the summer.
Breaking news. Let's do it.
Do you want to know live what the sponsor for the Black Sox are going to be this summer? The sponsor for the Black Sox this summer will be none other than I Am Your Chef. I Am Your Chef. I don't know if you could see.
I Am Your Chef.
Personal chef located in the 5 Towns area for all your barbecue needs. There you go.
Wow, very nice. It's a nice
Chef.
logo. Can't tell what's going on in the logo. Somebody just texted you.
Looks like a chicken.
Yeah,
so I was saying we're giving up so much for this podcast. Ranger game, Maverick game, which I think they were blowing them out last time I checked, and the Chavetz Chaim raffle campaign, which my deadline's in 20 minutes to hit my goal. I think I might have just hit it because I got a donation while we were on here. But
did you get your $78?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. And I just got a message. A message from the one of the people running the raffle. They were checking in and see how I'm doing. Anyways, but
wait. So I had one more question for.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's how dedicated we are to the viewers. Hundreds of thousands of viewers that watch the podcast.
I think this one's going to be an interesting one. So
all 3 views.
You mentioned Glenn Zuckerman. Who's a hitter that you admire in these leagues?
I like watching everyone. I'm always, what's standing in the field. I'm watching just defensively, just seeing where their feet placement is, how their hands. I like discussing, but Adam Hoffman's always one I watch. He just has such a smooth Glenn is just
smooth. What? Adam's got a smooth.
It's just such a smooth swing. It's just like he walks up there. It looks like he's holding a wiffle ball bat.
I was gonna say that you're taking out my mouth.
Yeah. It looks like he's holding literally like a tree stick. The guy goes up, just swings, looks like he has a swing with no power, and the ball goes, 350 feet. Like it's remarkable. And then he glides like a gazelle out there. It's crazy.
Adam's
So
a
what do
phenomenal
you-
hitter.
what do you-
Adam's tremendous. Like he pitch him inside, outside, over the middle. He just goes all directions. But
Such a good eye, also.
I didn't look at. You know what? I'm actually curious now because Glenn Zuckerman won the batting title, and
I could check. I'm on it already.
You
Austin-
put 15
yeah.
fielders out there against Glenn Zuckerman, and he'll 20 fielders. He'll find a hole. It's
But you know what's amazing? You know he won.
Oh, we better not get this wrong because
He
Adam
won-
is a freak for his stats. Like
No, I don't. I connect with him all the time about it. Zuckerman beat Adam Hoffman by like .004 for the OPS, and I think it's just because batting average was so high.
So Adam finished like 10th in average, but a bunch of the guys
Slugging,
before him,
compare their slugging, Zuckerman and Hoffman.
560 for Adam in average, 679 for Zuckerman. Slugging, very close. Glenn is at 1.036, and Adam's right above him at 1.040.
Oh, so he's more power. Glenn has more power than I gave him credit for,
Yeah,
and
Adam's
speed.
And on base percentage also, Glenn is 0.14 ahead of Adam. They're basically on par with each other than average. Average Glenn is a little more of a lead.
All right, so what else do we have to cover? We've covered a lot of bases. We could schmooze all night. Did I miss anything?
Avi, what's your prediction for?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Give us some switch on solutions versus Mobat prediction, and give us some Blue Wahoos versus Gold Glovers. I don't know if you know enough about the Gold Glovers. Gold Glovers, if you ever played them, they're the Abramson brothers, the Felberg brothers, the father and son. I'm sorry, Sal Felberg and his kid. Give us some predictions for the games that doesn't affect you immediately.
well, I mean, you lost to Mobat, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Oh boy!
We lost 2-1. Yossi Levinger had a 2-home run. My team decided to 3 hits the whole game.
And
Now,
what's
you
the?
know,
Hey, go ahead.
Levinger has a weird stance because most guys take their front foot and use that for their timing. He uses his back foot for his timing. It's
Who
very
Yossi? There's
interesting.
3 Levingers in that team. I assume you're talking about Yossi.
Whichever one
Yossi's
the magician is.
Yossi's the best hitter of the 3.
The magician one.
Oh, Shlomo. That's Shlomo.
Yeah.
That's Shlomo.
He pitched. He was a solid pitcher.
Yeah, Shlomo's good. I think he's gonna pitch against us again this week. So
I
give
think-
us some
I think so.
predictions.
I think you guys have a tough time against the slow pitching sometimes.
Yeah, we're actually bringing our best roster. It's funny, Ari Moskovic. Should I give away our? I gotta give it away. I don't care though. Zin's missing, unfortunately, the semifinal game. He's graduating from Landers
Yes,
and may or may
I'm
not be
aware.
receiving a hush of.
I had a feeling. I was gonna ask in the chat. What's he receiving?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Moshe's the most humble guy in the world. I was speaking to him. He's like, I'm graduating from Landers. I'm like, everyone graduates from Landers. No one goes to the graduation. He's like, yeah, but I might be, receiving something. So, okay, fine. And then Ari Moskovic has a hard stop at like 10:45 or something for work. So we have to slot him for the second game. So we're missing a couple guys, but
Arguably, you're. I don't want to be too controversial. Arguably, your 2 most important players.
yeah, no, correct. We're bringing a phenomenal team. We have all of our guys. Lowenger's in for both. Hell Rokach's there. Sabo's there. Shirley Friedman's there. Kessler's there. We have our first team.
What I like about Lowinger, he's a great competitor. Something that I've grown to appreciate is the people who really are in it for the competition.
Yeah,
it's hard to
he's at
find.
all the big games. He's at all the big games. Any big
And
game, he's there.
I haven't mentioned in the podcast. Somebody mentioned Mike Francesa in the last one, and I remember Mike Francesa talking about Michael Jordan, and he said Michael Jordan had a competitive drive bordering on the sick. He's like he might have been nuts, but I admire it. And I've started to really appreciate that as I've been talking to more personalities and more people. Like there's really something to it that's very
So I got a pen and a notepad, so I'm still waiting I want to hear Avi's predictions. Mobat versus Switch On Solutions. And then we're going to go Gold Glovers versus Blue Wahoo. So give us the Mobat score first, Avi.
David, I tried avoiding that one as much as possible. He didn't let me.
and I didn't even I fell for it. He
He needs bulletin board solution.
I'm
So,
curious.
material.
These games have nothing to do with you, Avi. You're not playing any of these teams anyways.
Pretty much.
Yeah, eventually, I'll have to go up against you when you win, Avi.
So you think the Switch on Solutions is going to win? What do you think the score is going to be?
I do. I think you guys will win something like 5-2. I think.
5-2.
I think after you face the team one time, you know exactly how to face.
Yeah, I
them.
really hope we score more than 5 runs. To be honest, I love Levenger. But he, like Avi said, he doesn't walk guys. But he's like with the lineup we're bringing. I'm batting 8. I think. Maybe I'm batting 7. Surely Freeman's batting 8. But like we have Zinn and
That's where I'm
Rokach.
batting in the semifinal game.
Yeah, I know. The problem with King Ventures is they have Nenner batting 8. 8 out of 10 is insane. And then Gold Glovers versus Blue Wow's. Blue Wow's, of course, Blisco versus the Abramsons.
The upstart Gold Glovers.
Yeah, that's right. Upstart. By the way, the Gold Glovers are confident. I ran into Yoel Abramson in the street when I was walking my kid home from the babysitter the other day, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, oh, "If not for the rain, like we would have. We had we had so many deep drives against them that they just happened to get under. Like we could easily score, but like, they're like very confident they're gonna win, which is good for them. But Abby, what do you think? Gold Glovers, Blue Wahoos. What do you think is gonna happen in that game?
I gotta go with my former squad in the Blue Wahoos. I think Toby's a professional pitcher. Let's go 6-4.
6-4. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good game. By the way, I think it's gonna be not only a good game. I think it's gonna be an intense game because the Gold Glovers have some really intense guys, and the Blue Wahoos also have some really intense guys. I wouldn't be shocked. Blue Wahoos in general, like Dave, you remember our Black Sox matchup against them when we were down by 7 runs and we came back to win. That was
You had a big triple. Edelman had a big triple in that game.
Yeah, I did. We were down
8-4. Clearing triple.
8-4 base. Oh, we're down. I think it's more 8-2 or something. Base loaded, no one out in like the 5th inning. Out of 3-run triple. It's on tape also. If no one believes me.
If I was ever looking for a clutch hitter, Avi's one of the first few people I'm taking on that list. That guy.
I appreciate
that guy knows how to step up when there needs to be a run driven in.
Yeah. Thank you, Avi. Yeah, I'm a pretty clutch guy. I'm up to say pretty. Like I said, I was telling Avi before yesterday, I was like, Ellie Race, who is an awesome dude, loves poking fun, which is as much as everyone else does at Avi Edelman. But the one time he'll always like shut his mouth up is like when someone brings up clutch hitting. He's like, Avi is pretty clutch hitter. So that leaves us with Mobat Switch On versus the King Ventures, and that would be Blue Wahoos versus the Bombers. Those are some good matchups. Like you said, Blue Wahoos are the last team to knock off the Bombers, right?
Right.
So those are some fun.
I don't expect it to happen. I'll make that prediction. I think we're gonna end up playing the Bombers.
We gotta wrap it up. But this has been so much fun. I'm pretty sure we should do this again next Thursday night, and hopefully both you guys are still in it.
How's that possible?
That would mean you're facing each other for the championship.
No, that's not possible.
No, we can't.
If we win, we play King Ventures.
Listen, but you could bring me and Tuvia back when I play Tuvia in 2 weeks. You can bring us back as
Dave,
Dave,
you were saying how like you're sort of secretly rooting for a King Venture Bomber championship, so you're sort of rooting for me to lose. Imagine we lose, but the Blue Wahoos knock off the Bombers or the Gold Glovers, and you have the King Ventures versus Blue Wahoos or versus Gold Glovers champion.
I love David Blisco. Yeah, I'm all for it. Let's do it, baby. Let me think. I think my favorite championship would be. You know what and it's possible for the Bombers it's possible for the Bombers to see Switch On?
Yes, if we beat King Ventures.
Okay, got it. Okay, I'll reserve my judgment. The truth is,
Dave, Dave, you're a legacy player. You can give your quick predictions. You think? Give me the semifinals. You think?
Plus,
who do you think?
It's rigged. You just leak the story.
Right. Dave is a commissioner. I don't know if he could give his. I don't know if we could allow him to say who he's gonna.
My predictions for legacy. I think Black Sox are gonna knock off Burger Hicks pretty easily. Actually.
Oh, wow.
You'll
Burger Hicks is pumped because we'll end with this because Donnie Scheinman got first pick on the field and he picked the fenceless field. So now Burger Hicks is playing you on the field with the fence. And Burger Hicks is known for hitting bombs over the fence, and Black Sox are known for never hitting home runs over the fence.
Oh boy,
they're very.
I'm only saying that because I message Yona Burger all the time. So what are the other games? Right, Rumble Ponies. I heard are missing a few key guys. I'm predicting an upset.
That might be a 9-on-9 game, by the way. They're both missing so many guys that they might only have not. They each might have only have 9 eligible for that.
So I'm predicting Hungry Hippos over the Rumble Ponies. What else we got? Annie's Kitchen
and the Crew.
Annie's versus the Crew. I love Yigal Ben Hayim, but the Crew's gonna knock off Annie's Kitchen.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be like
the Crew is so intense, and Annie's Kitchen is not as intense, and I think that will give them the edge. And that's it, right? So I
Yeah,
covered all of them.
you covered it all.
Yeah, I'm saying it like it is, bro. I'm predicting Black Sox over Burger Hicks 9-4. It's not going to
Oh
be
wow.
close.
Shua Blackman's not gonna like that prediction. I think Shua Blackman's gonna be on the mound unless he's not playing. I think they're missing a couple guys, but I think
They have some great hitters. They have Ellie Stool, but one last thing before we go, we have one of our Syrian sensations, Jacob Casson, pitched last night for Rada in the Wednesday Night League. He's the guy who pitched really well against the Vipers, and he threw a shutout last night. They won. They won last night, so he's hot. Casson is hot.
That's cool. Rada picked him up for Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's what he does. I messaged like 3 guys we needed a fill in it. Everybody's like, "Oh, Rada asked me. Oh, Rada asked me. Oh, Rada asked me." I'm like,
Guy's relentless.
he's relentless. And hopefully that means we see you on the 2024 Summer Black Sox. All right, guys, it's been a real pleasure, great fun.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to have this uploaded in the next hour, and those people up late Thursday night cooking for Shabbos will have something to listen to.
Or if you're in yeshiva and your Thursday night.
Oh, the night's
night
just
duty-
if you're in yeshiva, the night's just getting started.
I was gonna say, get some shalom, and before you start, the midnight night seder, you could hop 20 minutes of podcasts before you go back to learning till 2
Avi
a.m.
Edelman, you don't seem like a midnight night seder kind of yeshiva guy. I see you more in the gym, playing
Nah,
basketball.
I'm more of a sleeping at night guy. I get the fact that I'm up right now. I'm telling you, what I do for the HSL is absolutely crazy.
No, it's true. It's true. Avi really puts a lot of work in. All right, Mr. Nenner, thank you so much. We got to
Thanks,
do this
Avi.
again.
Thank
And
you,
I'm not
guys.
even joking. We should probably do it again next week. Hopefully, you guys are both still in it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't both be in
We
it.
can't both be in it.
One of us will have to be on. We'll see who
Right.
it is.
Bye, guys.
See ya.